Let us conduct a small thought experiment. Imagine you are in a meeting. The room is filled with 10 people, all equally qualified. An idea is proposed. A junior analyst makes an intelligent observation, but she frames it as a question. A senior vice president repeats the exact same observation 5 minutes later, but he frames it as a declaration. Which version of the idea is adopted? The senior's. The analyst's contribution is forgotten. Now ask yourself, was this a rational decision based on merit or a social decision based on status? This is the foundational insight of Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power, a book that is simultaneously the most despised and most clandestinely read text in corporate America, the corridors of Westminster, and the boardrooms of Sydney. The reason it is despised is that it unmasks the hidden operating system of human interaction, the raw, unvarnished pursuit of status and control that underlies every organization, every relationship, and every negotiation. The reason it is read is that ignoring these laws does not make you broken, it makes you calm. Most people spend their lives pretending power does not exist, then wonder why they are perpetually subordinate. The first step to protecting yourself is to treat it free. It is to see the game. Once you see it, you can choose whether to play it, subvert it, or strategically opt out. But you cannot opt out of a game you do not know exists. Today, we will dissect 3 laws that serve not as a manual for manipulation, but as an inoculation against manipulation. These laws will not make you Machiavellian. They will make you dangerous only to those who would exploit your naivety.
Let us begin with law number 1. Never outshine the master. This is the most counterintuitive law for the ambitious professional. You are taught that you must demonstrate your brilliance relentlessly, that visibility is the currency of advancement. Greene argues the opposite. You must always make your superiors feel superior. If you shine too brightly, you illuminate their weaknesses, and they will perceive you as a threat. The master does not want a successor, they want a reflection that flatters them. Consider the fate of Jean-Baptiste Colbert, the finance minister to Louis XIV. Colbert was brilliant. He rebuilt the French economy, streamlined the navy, and made the kingdom prosperous. But he never let Louis forget that the glory belonged to the king. He would deliberately make blunders in public, so Louis could correct him and look wise. He understood that his power was contingent on making his master feel powerful. Colbert died in his bed, still in favor. Contrast him with Nicolas Fouquet, Louis's previous finance minister, who threw a lavish party to showcase his own wealth and taste. The king saw it as a challenge. Within weeks, Fouquet was arrested and imprisoned for life. In the modern context, this law applies with brutal precision. A brilliant young product manager at a tech firm makes a presentation that makes her VP look ignorant. She does not get fired, she gets sidelined, assigned to a dead-end project, and eventually exits. She was not punished for being wrong, she was punished for being right in the wrong way. The protection is not to hide your intelligence, but to frame it as a contribution to your superior's success. Let us examine this law through the lens of social psychology, specifically the fundamental attribution error. When your boss makes a mistake, you attribute it to external factors, pressure, a flawed system. When you make the same mistake, you are likely to hold yourself accountable. But the boss does not extend you the same charity. When you succeed, the boss often attributes it to their mentorship. When you fail, they attribute it to your incompetence. This asymmetry is the neurobiological reality of hierarchical structures. The superior is neurologically wired to perceive threats to their status with the same urgency as a physical threat. Your competence is not just a neutral asset, it is a potential weapon. Therefore, you must frame your competence as a weapon that serves their agenda.
When you present an idea, use phrases like building on what you said earlier, or your insight about X made me realize. You are not being sycophantic, you are being strategically legible. You are translating your value into a language that does not trigger the amygdala of your superior. This is not deception, this is code switching for survival. If you want to advance, you must allow your superiors to feel like they are advancing you, not that you are advancing past them. Now, let us pivot to law number 15, crush your enemy totally. This law is profoundly uncomfortable for modern sensibilities. It suggests that when you have an opponent, you must eliminate their capacity for revenge entirely, leaving them no room to regroup. Robert Greene writes, "If you leave even one ember of resentment, it will eventually kindle into a fire." This is not a call for cruelty, it is a recognition of human nature. When you defeat someone in a corporate battle, a negotiation, or a political contest, the defeated party will lick their wounds, nurse their grievance, and wait for an opportunity to retaliate, unless you destroy their ability or will to do so. In the modern world, crushing often means a strategic exit with dignity. The most skilled negotiators do not humiliate their opponents. They offer a face-saving settlement that removes the opponent from the battlefield without leaving a bitter enemy. Consider the 2008 financial crisis. Lehman Brothers was allowed to fail spectacularly, but the executives left with enormous severance packages. They were not crushed, they were enriched. Meanwhile, many junior employees lost everything and formed a class-action resentment that haunted the industry for a decade. A more ruthless application of this law would have involved a controlled unwind that protected the public trust and dismantled the toxic culture without creating martyrs. In your own life, if you are passed over for a promotion and you know the person who got it, do not seethe, do not undermine them. Offer genuine congratulations and ask for their guidance. You are not surrendering, you are setting the stage for a future where they owe you. By crushing the relationship, removing all traces of competition, and replacing it with debt, you have neutralized an enemy before they fully form. Let us explore the psychology of this law through the lens of reactance theory. When a person feels their freedom is being threatened, they become motivated to restore that freedom. If you punish an employee publicly, they will seek to restore their dignity through sabotage. If you win a legal case decisively, but allow the opponent to keep a minor asset, you reduce the psychological reactance. The art of total crushing is actually the art of structured generosity. You allow your opponent to feel that they are not being destroyed, but instead that they are being given a golden parachute. This is how Rupert Murdoch operates. He acquires media assets, dismantles the competition, but often retains the former editors in highly paid consulting roles to keep them silent and compliant. He crushes their influence, but he does not crush their ego. The residual ego is a cage that keeps them from attacking. In your career, if you must terminate someone, do not do it with a terse email. Do it with a generous recommendation letter. By doing so, you force them to accept your version of reality to secure their next opportunity. You have not just ended their tenure, you have co-opted their future narrative. This is power.
Now let us move to law number 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. This law is a masterclass in psychological warfare. It suggests that when something is out of your reach, showing desire only signals your weakness. The more you chase, the more you validate the value of the thing you are chasing, and the more power the gatekeeper has over you. Conversely, when you display indifference, you destabilize the balance of power. The person or thing you desire loses its psychological hold on you. Consider the corporate scenario of a coveted promotion. You want it desperately, you make it known. The senior partners know you want it. They can now dangle it as a tool to extract more work, more loyalty, and more sacrifice from you. They can delay the decision, using your desire as leverage. Now imagine the opposite. You perform your duties excellently, but you project a genuine disinterest in the title. You focus on the work, you talk about your side projects, your family, your outside interests. The partners become uncertain. They do not have the leverage of dangling the carrot because you have refused to look at the carrot. In many cases, they will offer you the promotion precisely because you did not beg for it. This is the perverse logic of attraction. We value what is scarce. When you disdain what you cannot have, you paradoxically create a vacuum that the object of your desire may attempt to fill. Let us examine this law through the historical lens of the Roman Emperor Augustus. He was offered the dictatorship multiple times, an absolute power that every Roman ruler craved. Augustus refused it repeatedly. He made a grand show of begging the Senate to allow him to retire to a private life. The more he refused, the more the Senate insisted. Ultimately, he accepted the title, but on his terms, with his conditions, and with the full enthusiastic endorsement of the state. He had transformed a naked power grab into a reluctant duty. In the modern workplace, this translates to strategic humility. You do not need to fake disinterest. You need to genuinely build a life that is not entirely dependent on a single job or title. When you have options, you are free. When you are free, you are powerful. If you are terrified of losing a role, you will act nervously, desperately, and reactively. If you have savings, a network, and a plan B, you can afford to be patient and discerning. The best negotiation position is the willingness to walk away. If you do not value it, they cannot leverage it. This law does not encourage apathy. It encourages detachment of outcome. It allows you to focus on the process of excellence, not the anxiety of acquisition. And that focus is profoundly attractive.
Let us weave these three laws together and apply them to a contemporary figure, a corporate executive we will call Julian, but not the Julian from before. This Julian is a 42-year-old CTO at a struggling fintech in San Francisco. He is brilliant. He is also the most despised man in his organization, not because he is mean, but because he is invisible. He does not understand Law 1. He routinely corrects his CEO in public, not to be malicious, but because he is intellectually honest. He is perceived as a threat. He is also threatened by a rival, a younger engineer who is charming and ambitious. He has not crushed this rival. He has ignored him, which allowed the rival to build a coalition. When the CEO is eventually replaced, Julian is not considered for the top job. The young rival is. Julian is offered a transition package. He is devastated. He realizes that his entire career was a monument to his own naivete. He had the technical skill, but he lacked the psychological literacy to navigate the power structure. He had refused to read the manual, and he paid the price. But Julian's story does not end in failure. After his ouster, he takes a year off. He reads Greene's work. He studies history. He begins a new consultancy where he advises other tech leaders on how to avoid his mistakes. He applies Law 1 by always framing his advice as an enhancement of the client's existing vision. He applies Law 15 to ensure that any competitor he defeats is offered a partnership that neutralizes them. He applies Law 36 by maintaining a diverse portfolio of clients, so no single client holds power over him. Within 3 years, he is earning more than he ever did as a CTO, but he has achieved something more valuable. He is calm. He understands that power is a game, but he does not need to win it. He just needs to avoid losing himself in it. He has become a master of the game without becoming consumed by it. This is the ideal outcome, not a tyrant, but a sovereign individual who can navigate any social structure without being enslaved by it. Now, let us address the inevitable criticism. These laws are unethical. I do not want to manipulate people. This is a valid and mature objection, but it misses the point. These laws describe what happens, not what should happen. You can choose not to manipulate, but you cannot choose not to be manipulated by others who have read the manual. The ethical application of these laws is defensive. You use them to recognize the tactics of the sociopaths around you. You use Law 1 to detect when a boss is threatened by your talent, and you either adapt or exit. You use Law 15 to ensure your legal settlements are airtight, not out of cruelty, but to prevent future litigation. You use Law 36 to protect your mental health by not obsessing over opportunities that are not right for you. The laws are neutral. They are tools. A knife can be used to heal or to harm. The decision lies with you. But a knife is useless if you do not know it exists. By studying these laws, you are sharpening your awareness, not your aggression.
The deepest psychological insight of Greene's work is that power is not a luxury. It is a necessity for those who wish to be free. A person who is powerless is at the mercy of every capricious manager, every toxic partner, every shifting economic wind. To be powerful is not to dominate others. It is to have the capacity to determine your own path. This is the Stoic ideal translated into social strategy. Marcus Aurelius controlled his mind. Greene teaches you to control the external environment that tries to control your mind. They are complementary. You cannot meditate your way out of a corporate layoff. You must have positioned yourself strategically. You must have built a network, a reputation, and a financial buffer. These are not unspiritual goals. They are acts of self-respect. The corporate world is a battlefield, whether you like it or not. You can be a casualty, or you can be a strategic operator. The choice is not between good and evil. It is between awareness and ignorance. So, here is your final, non-negotiable challenge. Tonight, you will acquire a copy of the 48 Laws of Power. You will not read it as a Bible for manipulation. You will read it as a map of the human jungle. As you read each law, you will journal one instance in your own life where you were a victim of that law, and one instance where you perpetrated it unknowingly. This will take time, weeks, maybe months, but at the end of this exercise, you will have a mental model of power dynamics that will protect you from the predators of the corporate world and the emotional vampires of your social life. You will learn to identify the master you need to flatter, the enemy you need to neutralize with generosity, and the carrot you need to ignore to keep your freedom. This is not a cynical worldview, it is a realistic one. The powerful are not inherently evil, they are simply awake. You have been sleeping. It is time to open your eyes. The game is being played with or without your consent. The only question is whether you will be a player or a piece on the board. Choose wisely. The laws are eternal. They have governed the fate of emperors and paupers alike. They will govern yours. Learn them, not to control others, but to ensure that no one controls you. That is the truest power of all.